Hey everyone, another busy week in Washington this week, heading into the 4th of July weekend. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to see many of you over the next week, and of course for the opportunity to celebrate the 4th of July, our nation's independence, with family and friends. It's always one of my most cherished memories from my childhood is the way that we go out there and celebrate the 4th of July and have fireworks and barbecue. It's always one of those memories for me, just one of the greatest times of the year, every single year. I love it. I live for it. Before that, though, let me give you a quick update on the things that I worked on in Congress this week. I want to take a moment to remember specifically some folks that I spoke about on the House floor this week: Paul Bissaw and Lahiri Garcia, and the many others who have been taken from us by individuals who are residing illegally in our country and acting outside of our immigration laws. Their deaths are especially devastating because they could have been prevented if the person that's here legally had been deported. These deaths could have been prevented. Paul and Lahiri, they were paramedics in our community. They were dedicated to saving lives. On June 1st this year, a drunk driver who was in our country illegally collided with their ambulance and killed them both. And Paul left behind a family, his wife, his 6-year-old daughter. Lahiri left behind his wife, his children, a grandchild. When I spoke to Paul's widow, she told me that if our country was not too afraid or too inept to enforce immigration laws, that she would still have her husband with her today. And all her husband wanted to do was save lives, but that now her daughter would be forced to grow up without him. And she's absolutely right. And when I spoke to Julie Garcia, she told me how it was hard for her 4 children and grandchildren to have Father's Day without their father this year. She told me about how she expected to grow old with her husband, but because this man wasn't sent home the first 3 times that he was pulled over, she won't have that opportunity anymore. And both of these women, both of these wives, expressed to me sincere disbelief. They don't understand why this was allowed to happen, and for the life of me, I don't understand why we allow this to continue to happen either. I couldn't imagine life without my wife, Brianna. She's the backbone of our family. I couldn't imagine not growing old with her. This week, we took action to address this critical problem. It's an epidemic. It's not just a problem. It's an epidemic. The bottom line is that this can't ever be allowed to happen even once. It should never be allowed to happen again. Sanctuary cities like West Palm Beach are a violation of the rule of law. They are absolutely unacceptable and cannot be tolerated, and we have to enforce the law. Our bills crack down on dangerous sanctuary city policies that needlessly put innocent lives at risk. They keep our streets safe by enhancing penalties for deporting felons who return to the United States, and ensure that illegal immigrants that are convicted of crimes are detained and are in fact deported the way that it should happen. One of these bills that we passed, the No Sanctuary for Criminals Act, it penalizes state and local governments that refuse to fully cooperate with federal immigration authorities. The other bill, Kate's Law, will increase sentences for criminals with multiple illegal entries into our country. It sounds amazing that we have to even talk about that. We have a lot of work to do to make our immigration system work correctly, to have it enforced correctly, to protect the American people. These bills are a step in the right direction. Getting these bills signed into law, it will help ensure that what Dawn and Julie and their families have experienced does not happen to anybody else. No more children are forced to grow up without their father or without their mother, or fathers and mothers lose their children because of our failures to enforce immigration policy. A few other items I want to update you on this week. First, I participated in a markup for a major reform to the Federal Aviation Administration that will help bring the FAA into the 21st century. The markup is basically, it's a committee hearing where we vote on amendments to a bill that is proposed before that bill actually goes to the House floor. This is something that can occur when you are on that committee of jurisdiction. So being on the Committee of Foreign Affairs and the Committee of Transportation and Infrastructure, I get to participate in the markups of legislation that comes through my committees there. I don't get to participate in the markups that go through other committees. To give you a little bit of outline on the way that occurs. So the 21st Century AIRR Act is all about keeping Americans safe when they fly, and making sure that your experience when you fly is as efficient as possible. The bill does this by basically reducing the amount of red tape in the FAA certification process. It improves the safety of air travel, improves flying experience, it helps to foster innovation for the development of new technology, and it does a lot more. I also had the opportunity to sit down with Secretary Shulkin this week, Secretary of the VA, to talk about issues that are important to the veterans community. This week, President Trump signed into law the Department of Veterans Affairs Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act. You might remember that I told you about this bill, I think, last week or the week before when the House passed it. Basically, there have been a lot of problems at the VA. Employees, as examples, employees doing surgery while drunk, psychiatrists watching, unacceptable videos, porn, while meeting with veterans. The VA has been, limited in their actions to fix the situation because of unnecessary red tape. If you do something that would get you dishonorably discharged from the military, you definitely shouldn't have the honor of serving our veterans' health care needs. That's the way I see it. This bill, it improves the Whistleblower Protection Act and whistleblower protections, and it also makes sure that when there are bad employees, they can be held responsible for their actions. It's a great step forward for veterans care, and I can't stress enough what a big deal this is to be signed into law by our president. I also had the opportunity to meet with the Ocean Conservancy and the Everglades Foundation this week, two critical groups in our fight to protect the Everglades and to make sure that we have clean water in our area, both on our beaches, up and down our coast, our inland waterways, our lakes. So important meetings. I was really glad that they took the time to come and connect with me. This week, the South Florida Water Management District, they sent a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers requesting development of a post-authorization change report for Lake Okeechobee's Southern Water Reservoir. I've been a big proponent of this project from the beginning, and I'm glad to see that the next step that has to happen is happening, but there's still a lot more that we need to do. That's why I'm pushing pretty hard for my Everglades First Act to be passed as soon as possible. That bill that will seriously speed up the timeline for the Southern Reservoir project to get done. Basically, improve the timeline to go out there and get all the impact studies that need to get done so we can get that project completed sooner rather than later, so that our community does not continue to suffer. The South Florida Water Management District also put up an interactive website where you can track the progress, which you can find by going on their Facebook page if you want to check that out. Finally, as I wrap up, I just want to say a brief reminder to those of you out there that might be interested in applying to one of our military service academies. The deadline for those applications is October 13th. If you're looking for more information, I encourage you, visit our website at mast.house.gov. Start planning now so that we can help you with any questions that you might have before that deadline. As always, it is an honor to represent you in Congress. I hope to see you around the district at all the various events that are going on over the 4th of July and the next week as I celebrate our nation's independence. Again, just the greatest week out there for us as Americans to celebrate that independence, what makes us so great as a nation, special as Americans. Have a great 4th of July. Catch you all soon.